bada boom. There's 3 in the
Hey,
room.
everyone. Yeah, there is actually 3. I could lost my count there. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the recap stream.
Pull up a chair, sit down, grab your bucket of cheese. We got lots to go over today.
Cheese.
Or popcorn. I mean, I'm not going to judge.
Hey everyone, welcome.
Oh, Snooper, thanks for the 100 bits.
Straight off the bat. Excellent, thank you.
Yes.
Welcome, Admiral.
Hello.
Adorate.
It's a
Hey,
soap.
hey, Soap. Right there, your mug's right there. Thanks for the mug. They made me a mug with my picture on it.
Oh.
You'd have to see the front for the picture.
What a mug.
Wraith is just covering it up. Not too close up.
It's a mug with a mug on it.
Oh, really?
Well, it is a mug shot.
Oh gosh. Raptor, hello, welcome. As well as
Fuzzy,
thank
thanks
you
for that subscription.
Yes, thank you, Fuzzy.
Oh, you got it.
But yeah, we should be starting up pretty soon. We're just waiting for people to get in here. Realize that we're streaming right now.
We just jumped up by 10 viewers, so yep.
Oh, good.
Bada bing, bada boom. Really sky in the room. How you doing, everyone?
Happy Friday for everyone as well.
Yep.
Yep, we
Yes,
got some
we have
different music.
Yep.
Bleg, thank you for that follow. Welcome.
Welcome.
There isn't Steam overlay music, right? Like on the channel. Hopefully they're not meaning like
No.
there's music. Okay, cool. I was just hoping
No,
that
there
overlay-
shouldn't be.
Okay, then.
If you can hear the old Nios music, let us know in chat.
Sejens, well, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
Let's find out. Whoa! Snooper with all the gifts.
Wow. How many is that? Is that
Thank you, Snooper.
10? Or is that 20?
That's more than 10. Very kind of you.
Very kind. Thank you so much.
He's awesome as always, Snooper, with the
20, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, everyone who got a gift us up room, thank them for that.
Max also redeemed Hydrate. I've got a bottle of water next to me. I hear Wraith has too. We'll stay hydrated throughout the stream. Thank you.
Yeah, I've just had a drink just before we got started, so...
Mm.
That reminds me, actually, I need to renew my subscription as well for the channel.
I mean, Steam is, water.
Oh yeah, it's also September as well, which means you get a discount on your subs right now.
Yeah, thank you for the sub soap.
Oh, this right here, yeah, that's a cheese node. It's the best node in Nios.
Okay,
Cheese
so
node.
I think we got quite a bit of people inside of the channel now, so I think we should be ready to start things up for our topics.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Welcome to the recap stream. This is going to be the recap for the month of August. We're also going to be touching on stuff happening in September. It's just started. I hope you've had a good August. We're going to get going and start with our first topic here. helps if I have a laser. So the first topic here we have is that the MMC has begun. It began on the 1st, and I've already seen a lot of people making stuff and streaming their creations, so thank you so much for that. The Metaverse Maker Competition, that's what MMC stands for. It's a prize pool of over 40,000 NCR with 150,000 CDFT available. There is a new badge as well for any participators. There is a lot of stuff going on there. There's a lot of categories this year. There's a lot of stuff going on. Later on in the stream, we're also going to have an interview with Medra, who is the creative manager of the competition, and we're going to ask him some questions, hear a little bit more about the MMC. So if you've got questions for the MMC, feel free to sort of ask those right now or wait for the stream, and we'll get those in for Medra.
Yes. It
was a great competition last year. I am really hyped. Yeah, we had a lot of entries last year. We did a large stream at the end of it as well. We went through each and every entry, and then Fruxius posted that to YouTube. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how many more people we get coming in this year as well, doing more projects, because especially with the, the extra categories and stuff. Yeah, definitely going to see more. What did you do for the MMC last year, by the way?
Oh yeah, so yeah, last year I entered it, and I did a laser tag entry. It was great. I worked with Dallas. Dallas is a great 3D artist that we've got here in the community, and we made a sort of just laser tag. There was lots going on there though. We had a scoreboard, all sorts of cool stuff. It looked really, really cool. I didn't have a chance to finish it because I broke that mug.
Oh yeah, I do remember the laser tag now. Actually, yes. It was funny because when the last MMC was when I actually came into Nios, so I didn't have a clue, and all my friends, well, mainly Matty, was locked away working on the parkour park.
Yep. So, on a note of walking away, do remember that, we do encourage you as part of the MMC to, be in an open world, take regular breaks, and avoid burnout. If you share your creations, you can get some people coming in. Maybe they give ideas. Maybe they can play test. It's great to sort of showcase what Nios can do. Don't stay locked in those private worlds. Take breaks definitely. And be in public worlds.
But yeah, and then I got roped into helping Bobatron build his world, and I did some textures for him, and then I did playtesting for Matty, so that's how I got my badge. But yeah, it's always good.
It's always good. It's a great time to learn as well. There was a particular entry last year where someone just intended to submit a cube, and once they'd submitted the cube, they were like, hang on a minute, I can make the cube do stuff, and then they ended up making a full entry, and they had a little sort of narrative experience where they're like, we intended to just submit a cube, but we actually learned how Nios worked.
Yeah, it is cool because, it's one of those other opportunities as well where, you can go into a project and watch people work on certain parts of a project and expand your own knowledge as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The people don't mind you coming in and going, hey, what you doing? How's this? How's that work? And if they've got the time, they'll no doubt show you.
Absolutely. I think we'll just to remind you again, we've got an interview coming up with Medra later on. It's 1900 hours, and we'll have Medra on the interviews couch, just answering any questions that you might have.
Also, there is one thing I do want to mention as well, actually, and that's, those of you that are making these worlds, document them. Take screenshots as you're building them, so, you can show off your progress. You can say, this is how we did this. Parkour, I know the Parkour Park did it. They took quite a few screenshots of their building process, and Vibes was another one who took stuff like that. But yeah, it gives you a chance, to have these memories. And
share them.
Yeah, well, when we did the stream host parties, we did the hosting parties at the end of the MMC. I hosted one of those, and that was my first big thing that I'd ever hosted with anyone. And I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I got so many screenshots of people in there. And we actually had one of the second prize winners in my lobby as well, which was really cool because he came back and he showed off his trophy to everyone. And that was Gillifix with the plant world where you could throw the little seeds down.
Absolutely. If you search MMC in the world browser, you should be able to find last year's entries. Take a look at what was submitted. You can also find the MMC 2021 kickoff world, which has world orbs to all of the last year's winners.
Yeah, definitely. It's always been, one of those big points now coming up.
Absolutely. I think we're ready to move on. Do you want to hop on to the next topic?
Yep, let's go on to the next topic, which is upcoming community events we've got coming up. Now, we have got, the meta movie coming up now, which is, I am so looking forward to this tomorrow, because I'm actually going to be doing it live with Nexalin. We'll be streaming that on our Twitch channel, which will be at 10:30 PST in the morning. And the only thing, though, to note with the meta movie is it's not available unless you buy a ticket or you receive a ticket. And
so you can head on.
Go on.
Oh, you can head on over to the website to pick up tickets. There's various prices available for depending on what you want to do. Do you want to talk more about those?
Talk about which part? Sorry, Prime. The
tickets. The different options you have available.
Yeah. So you've got the Hero, which is a $50 ticket, which allows you to change the course of the show. Basically, you are the show as the hero. And then you also have the Sidekick, which is a little camera drone that floats around, and it has little indicators on it for yes, no, and maybe, which also allows you to give some influence to certain things for the hero, if I recall correctly.
Absolutely, yep. They can listen to you, or they can choose to ignore you. Like every decision point, they've got a voice.
But also
one color of a voice, but a voice.
Yes. But also, as the Sidekick, be looking for the Easter eggs. There are Easter eggs hidden for them.
Absolutely.
Also, we have... Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, I've seen the meta movie from sort of growing from the start. I've seen a couple of run-throughs of it. I can't wait to see people go through it as, regular users rather than in development or preview things. It's great to see it launch.
Yeah. Now, as I say, I'm going into this meta movie completely blind, so I don't know anything about it, the plot or anything. So, I'm looking forward to this. But could you, if as you say, you said you know quite a bit more about it, so could you give out, a little bit of an idea of it without spoilers?
Absolutely, yes. So you play a hero that is going on a mission with a bunch of other people. Now, these people are real life actors. They're in Nios, they're in their headset, they're acting out in VR, and they will react and sort of go with you. So it's a highly improvised scenario. I mean, there is a track that you run on, as in a set of events, a set of places that you'll go through, but they'll have to sort of adapt to how you interact with the course of events. There are decision points, there's morality, there's ethical choices, there's all sorts of things going on. You're sneaking into a complex. I don't remember what happens in there, because I haven't seen the full thing, but there's lots to do there that allows you to really make the story your own and make the story something unique to you. I seem to remember in one particular run through, they had an actor that was just sort of ignoring all the sort of status quo. Like every path that they were set on, they would go off that path, and they had to sort of really improvise hard to try and get a narrative that made sense.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's just absolutely awesome. So yeah, just a note, you can check that out at themetamovie.com. If I noticed Aegis is in chat there, so if Aegis can throw up a link for people to see, just putting themetamovie.com into the chat for us, Aegis, that would be absolutely fantastic. We've also got stuff called Mystic Forge as well, which were the guys who made the absolutely fantastic Caverns of the Season. I love that. I love that one so much. If you've not checked that out, go check it out. Check out Ransford's Lookout as well. But they have got a new one coming out, which is called Rise, A Sky Without Stars. Now, I've seen a little preview of this, which was in their Nios Fiesta booth.
It was, yes, it was.
And I saw this airship, and I was like, oh, this is cool, I like this. I wonder if this is going to be their next new thing. And then
I was looking forward to
the
sort of it feels like it's going to be more open, more expansive. I don't know much about it. I've just seen a brief trailer and the airship that was in the Festa booth. It's exciting to see what they do next. I was a beta tester for Cabin of the Seasons, and I was walking through it, and I'm just like, wow, this is what I want this is what I want to see in Nios. I want more puzzles. I love puzzle games, so I love the fact that Cabin of the Seasons had a great deal of puzzles. One of the great things about Cabin of the Seasons was when you got to the end of it, they then gave you access to a builder-enabled world, so you could take parts of it apart and see what was going on there.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. And we did a bit of it on the stream. We didn't do a full playthrough of it because obviously we didn't want to spoil it.
Absolutely.
Because stuff, especially with narrative stories like that, because there is quite a good story to it. It's always worth, checking it out yourself and not having it spoiled.
Absolutely.
But I think, as I say, talking about the BEPUv2, I think that can bring us on to our next subject, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's head on in. So the other thing that we want to mention in terms of community events, this is actually just concluded, but you can actually go back and take a look. So Nios Festa 3 just concluded. Festa 3 was a celebration of everything Nios. You could submit booths, which are sort of, if you imagine a convention hall where you're walking through and seeing what people can do. People are showing off with their existing creations. Other people took booth more sort of artistically, and they were showing off something new. You can check out all the different worlds and items by heading on over to the Nios Festa world there. They've got a cool interface where you kind of just sort of select what you want to see, and then it loads around you and you can explore there. There is a lot of stuff there. You can check out Nios Festa's both Twitter and YouTube account. They've got a full opening ceremony and closing ceremony where they talked about all of the awesome booths that they saw, and then each week they were posting videos on their Twitter of what was new, because what they had was way each week you submitted new stuff and then it was released. So it was more like a sort of rotating or edition thing. Each week there was new stuff that got released. It was a great event that was happening, and I am excited to see what's in there. I submitted a booth with some friends, so do check that out. If you find it, let me know. It's a cool booth.
Nice. I'll have to go check that. I haven't had chance yet to check it out. I've had a look at a few little bits. As I say, I got a chance to have a look at the Ransfords one on stream, and that was about it. I'm waiting until we actually go to investigate it on before I go look at more stuff, because I love, having that genuine surprise reaction for the stream. It's like, wow, sort of thing. And I always, I like having stuff fresh for me, especially when we stream it. But
absolutely, yeah.
You can check them out at festa.nios.com as well. Those links have been posted in the chat for you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. There were a few entries I saw where they had, again, there was learning going on. So a bit like the MMC were encouraging learning. I saw one particular booth, I won't spoil it as we're going to go ahead and take a look at it, but they were like, hi guys, I'm just learning, checking out what's going on. And it was a lovely little experience where they'd put together sort of all the things that they'd learned over the course of the Festa.
Nice.
So we have a stream on the 17th to go through, dedicated to going through the Nios Festa entries. So do check that one out, and feel free to check it out by yourself if you want to take a look. There will be Nios Festa 4 next, sort of in the future. We're not quite sure on the dates just yet, but do check it out on their Twitter. They'll be announcing when that next event is.
Yeah. If anyone's got any questions about the last few things we've gone through, by the way, feel free to post them in chat as well, and we'll see if we can answer some questions as we're going through.
Absolutely, yeah. So post those questions about any of the topics that you've got. Make sure to add a question mark on the end of those questions. We pick those up, we flag them elsewhere, and we can keep them in a big queue, and we'll try and get through them as quickly as we can.
Yeah, and just a reminder to everyone, everybody that's trying to submit to the Nios Festa 3, the submissions are now closed, so just keep that in mind.
Absolutely, yep. Yep, absolutely. All right, we're going to head on, I think, to the next one. Are we ready?
Yeah, I suppose we are good to go.
Yep.
So we've had a new member of our Nios team come on, who is Dante. He's come on as a new moderation team member. And, we pretty much, give him a bit of a warm welcome to the team.
Absolutely.
Dante has really been, a volunteer for the Nios community now for a very long time, helping out with the moderation. And he's been a detrimental member of this team.
I
think the word is detrimental.
No.
No?
No, they've been a great member of the Nios team, a great member of the Nios content moderation team.
My English is terrible. Bad English, need I say more?
It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
At least that makes it funny.
Instrumental.
Yeah, instrumental is
yeah.
the word that you're looking for.
Instrumental was the word I was looking for, yes. Not detrimental, Jesus Christ. I'm saying he's a bad moderator.
When
Oh no!
When the rest of the team were discussing adding Dante to the team, I think I made the comment of like, "Why aren't they in the team already?" Like that's how instrumental they were to the team. So, dude, it's totally fine. It happens, dude. Check an eye out for them in game. They've now got the yellow name, the yellow staff badge, and I welcome them to the team. Excited to see what they can do and how they can help. Their insights into the area moderation are always appreciated, and I hope we'll see more of that going forwards. Thank you so much, Dante.
Yeah, abnormal stuff. That is the issue with live productions, most definitely.
It happens. It happens.
But yes, thank you, Dante, for everything that you're doing, and glad to have you on the team.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think we'll hop on here. We actually have a great topic now, as this has just launched, and we're still seeing tweaks and enhancements about it. We've got BEPUv2, which has launched. That's the first part of our physics update. We've done a complete overhaul of the engine from BEPUv1 to BEPUv2. I've actually got Fruxius heading behind the scenes, who we're going to invite down to come and talk a little bit about that.
Come here, you.
Welcome, Frux.
Oh, here's the
Frux.
Look, we have a little yellow spot for Fruits.
Look at the yellow X.
Fruits has a little yellow X down here where he stands. You try to get a screenshot.
Did you want to talk a little bit about BEPUv2 and what it affords us and how the process has been?
Yes. It's actually been like one of the biggest upgrades of Nios's engine, because the physics engine, it's like behind all of the interactions that happen, that you do when you grab something. It's the physics engine checking are there any objects around your hand, or when you interact with something with a laser, it's checking if you go in this direction, what will you hit and at what distance. So it's sort of and then also of course when you move around the environment this, when you jump around, bump into environment, it's physics engines figuring out all the collisions and so on. So it's sort of behind all of the core interactions that happens in VR or in pretty much any game. So it is a very instrumental part of Nios. And it's also it was one of the oldest ones, one of the oldest integrations, because Nios needed interactions. You need to be able to grab stuff from the beginning. So that integration was showing its age, and we kind of wanted to sort of just rework it, make it because it was its age was causing lots of problems. It was causing some performance problems. It was causing some interactions where colliders would be lagging behind, where people would be getting dropped out of colliders, vehicles. There were a lot of really weird behaviors that were kind of hard to fix by themselves, and just sort of redesign the system. And
absolutely,
because the author who made the original BEPUv1, he pretty much decided to also completely rewrite the physics engine. Pretty much he essentially made a new one that's where he utilized all his experience to build a much more higher performance oriented one, but also one that's kind of more low level. We decided to kind of combine those actions, where we completely scrapped how Nios integrates with the physics engine, and we removed the version 1 and wrote the new integration based on the new version of the engine. That way we get the benefit that the new version, BEPUv2, it has much better performance. It also has much lower level API, which means we can actually customize the integration to suit Nios's needs. It doesn't do a whole lot of extra stuff that we don't need. It's taking performance. It just pretty much we can make it do only the stuff that is necessary for us. So
we actually have some further slides to talk about some of the features, so we go through those a little bit. You can head on to those ones. So I believe our first one that we're going to talk about a little bit. Did you click that, Wraith, or did you get that?
There we go.
There we go. So we've got the Proto-Rigid Bodies, which I know has been a huge topic of excitement, both for Frixius as he's been playing with them, but also for the community. So Proto-Rigid Bodies are not real rigid body physics. They're just sort of like a test thing that you can play around with. They're not optimized, they're not performant, but feel free to take a look at them and play around with them as much as you would like. We have a lot of notices about sort of what's going on there. For example, when you try and use it, we've got like this notice here that single-sided photos that appears and tells you, hey, be careful when using them. This appears when you try and use them, but do note that they're there and that you can play around with them. We have a full GitHub list for talking about what's next for them. Maybe you'd like to sort of talk about how we get from proto-rigid bodies to actual rigid bodies a little bit.
Yeah. It's very much like one of the things that was almost like a side effect during like development, because one thing we do have in Nios is like the character controller, and that's what you like use to like move around. So for example, when I move forward, like I bump into the environment, at the base of it there's technically a rigid body inside, but it has a whole bunch of extra stuff, and some of the stuff is kind of like limited. For example, by default, like the rotation is locked, so it only simulates the position. One thing we added is so we can actually unlock that rotation and we can get it to behave like a rigid body. But of course it comes with all the like limitations. The character controller, it is optimized for controlling a user. It's not optimized for having lots of objects in the environment. So while you technically can do that, you're probably gonna run into like a bunch of issues where like it's gonna take more performance than it should on your CPU, so like you'll get low frame rate. But also importantly, it's not optimized for network, so it's gonna be just synced. It's gonna be synced naively, which means like if you have lots of bodies, you're gonna generate lots of network traffic, and that means like if you have like worse connection, even like on the good connections with a lot of people, like everything might start like lagging out. They're also like more limited. You cannot control things like friction, so like they'll sort of like behave as if they're like made out of ice. Sometimes you even get them like weirdly sticking because like they have that bit of extra logic where the character tries to like gain like a foothold for, sort of like on the ground, like to kind of like glue itself to the ground, and like that might make it behave weird. It also stimulates non-particle users. So for example, when you grab them, they will just shoot off to like random distance. So there's like a lot of like weirdnesses around them because like they're not made to be rigid bodies. But if you understand like those, we want people to play with them, because like during development, like I started like messing around with them. I was like, this is lots of fun. Like everyone's probably gonna have fun with these. So we just wanted to understand like those limitations, and that's pretty much like those limitations are what the proper rigid body implementation will be solving. So like I mentioned, like the proper like rigid bodies, they're gonna be designed so you can have lots of them. So it's gonna use less CPU. They're gonna update more efficiently. They're gonna have a specialized networking that like sort of like compresses and quantizes like the information that's being transmitted. They're also gonna simulate on all the users. So like instead of like it lagging, like if the connection lags, like you're gonna have like smooth behavior. Plus you'll be able to, for example, grab it without like shooting to random distance, throw it around, do stuff with it. And also very big thing, we're gonna implement a whole set of constraints. And constraints are essentially like elements that allow you to link the rigid bodies. So for example, you can say like these two rigid bodies are connected with a spring, or you could create like a whole chain of them, or maybe they're connected with like a axis that like they can like rotate around. You can use that, for example, to like make a car and then like you connect like wheels. You could make chains, you could make like seesaws, like where you say like this thing is like constrained like on this axis, so like it can only move like this way. And pretty much like build all kinds of crazy like contraptions like with this. So the constraints in particular are gonna like enable lots of really cool content that can be built with the rigid bodies. And of course we're also gonna add like a bunch of new tools, so it's actually like easier to work with them. So you can have like you could like point at the object, be like make this like physical, then it's just gonna start like bouncing around and so on. So there's a whole bunch of stuff like coming with the proper rigid body support. I do recommend like giving a GitHub issue read, like if you want to know a little bit more. But just know the sort of rigid body physics you can get right now isn't like the full thing. it's sort of just like a little like taste of it.
With that being said, here's a ball, and this is one of our Proto-Rigid Bodies. So if I just go ahead and drop this, you'll see it now falls, and it's actually rolling off camera. Bye. See how they roll around.
Just a note as well on the GitHub as well. Remember, Patreons can vote on issues as well, so you can actually vote for the full rigid body support using your Patreon vote.
Yes.
Also, there is one thing I want to ask you actually, which is, what does the simulate rotation mean then?
Well, it's pretty much like the part, like when you're a character controller, like the physics engine, it simulates two main things. It simulates like a position, so like it's sort of like how you like sort of like move around, but also simulates like a rotation. So like when you have a let's say like you have like a cube or something. And like you apply a force here. Normally, like what happens is like if you push the cube, it's gonna behave like this. It's gonna rotate.
Oh yeah.
But by default the character controller, because you don't like if I collide with the environment, I like walk into this, I don't want to like topple over and like fall over. Like I don't want like this kind of thing to happen.
Yeah.
So by default the rotation is locked. But if you check that field, it pretty much unlocks the rotation and it simulates like both of it, so you get like more like physical interactions where like instead of like the rotation being just like constantly the same, it's actually gonna sort of like rotate around, like, and the forces are gonna like make it behave like more physically.
Yeah, a bit more realistic then, is what you're trying to say. That's pretty awesome. That is awesome.
If you really want, like, you can build like 0G like sort of like locomotions. There's a few things that we're gonna add that could probably help with that, like being able to like apply like impulses at point and being able to like change the angular like rotation.
Yeah.
So if you want to explore stuff, like you'll be able to with the character controller. You can use it for the Proto-Rigid Bodies as well, but
that's pretty sweet. Well, we've got some of the other stuff, which is the BEPUv2 features as well.
Absolutely, yep. So if we head on over to those, we have. I'm not sure how we want to do this. We've got stuff that we need to pull on in from out of stage to talk about it a little bit. So, I believe.
But we've got the character control modifiers.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Improved crouch with physical objects. I actually had a video I put on my Twitter actually, which was Fruits testing it to the extreme.
Yes.
He was literally under stairs on a Minecraft world, and he was about this tall.
Yeah. There's been like one of the things
better
that like has been like requested like before is like you can't like before like you would always be the same height in Nios. So like even if you crouched, like you and you try to work under something, like you get it stuck. But with some of the like reworking we did, like now the shape can actually update like in real time. So like if you it actually respects your like real height, and that adds like a little bit of extra like immersion when interacting with things.
Well, as I say, so we go on. I was about to say we have got character control modifiers. You could do quicksand, jump pads, boost pads, and we've actually got an example of something which we actually can make use of with this.
Absolutely, yeah. It's over here. I think have we got a camera on this yet?
There we go. Camera's on now.
So this is a slidey ice rink that we've got here.
Actually, hey Nex, show how it looks from your own. Show them how it looks from your point of view.
Sure.
I can't.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of
like
it's
from like just seeing, but like you pretty much like when you're on top of this, like you lose control. Like it's slippery.
Yeah.
It's hard to like stop and change direction. And this kind of cool thing is like you often like see this like in games. Like one of my favorites is like in Doom Eternal. Like there's this like infamous purple goo, and it's sort of like opposite of this. It's like where you step on it and like you just like you're super slow. You cannot jump. Or you can make like surfaces like they're slippery. Like this thing makes it very easy to do it. It pretty much just is this the purple goo.
And yes,
no, it's
basement nerd. You could do speed maps with speed boost panels. Yes. You
Absolutely.
could do a run map where you run over a certain thing and it makes you go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, people have made jump platforms using it. So like right now, my jump would
yeah.
be increased if I was on this area, or even oil slicks, or even people make quicksand type stuff too. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
what
that's the cool
people have
thing
made
is, like,
already.
I
you
think
can control this with a texture. So like you could, for example, be like, I have like this terrain, I have like this area of ice here, so I'm gonna make like a texture that controls what is the traction in this area. But like as you walk on the environment, it actually changes based on where you collide with it. So it opens up like a whole many options, like for building maps, making them like more realistic, building games, and lots of like cool stuff like that.
Definitely. Okay, well, let's go back over into. Oh, do we have another thing to show?
This is
This is the crouch cube.
Crouch Cube.
Oh, so I can go underneath it and I'll stay crouched.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, well, here I am. Let me undo the seated mode. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, my legs.
We're stuck.
Yeah, my legs are going
And-
kind of through.
It works better with a lot of the desktop mode, but yeah.
Whoa!
Actually,
Oh.
next, if you grab that cube and actually drop it onto me
Oh, yeah.
and
let me
push
do
me
that.
down with it, because I think you could push me down using the cube.
Perfect.
Oh, yep, there we go.
Ah,
So like I can't walk under this, but like if you
Right.
drop low enough, like you can.
But yeah, really cool interactions that are brand new, all thanks to BEPUv2.
We've got 2 more
Um,
interactions to the right of us.
yes, and one of them has been something requested for a long time.
Yeah, this one is really important and impressive, is the step-up feature, which you can now actually climb upstairs without getting stuck on the colliders. So us being able to do that, walk, don't grab. Okay. Oh, look. Oh, I can walk up the ladder. I don't have to climb it. I can
It's
be
like
lazy.
Half-Life.
Yeah.
Just need the sounds. Clunk, clunk.
That's really cool. So I'm not even gripping onto the ladder right now and walking up these stairs. Normally, for BEPUv2, you guys, if I was to walk up these stairs, I would get stuck on the
This is
stairs for sure.
This is actually
Actually-
ours. Like I implement like that's one of the benefits of like the BEPUv2 is because it's very like low level. It's very customizable, so we can
Yeah.
like build lots of like cool stuff on top of it and get like a lot more
That's-
control.
Yeah, more of an
So-
example was pretty much this is the interaction you would get on the old version of Beppu,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you
this
know,
one, it's also configurable, so like you can like this was like like a joke like people were like saying for a while is like in Nios you get stuck on like 1 centimeter like tall like bump and it was like pretty like annoying and we had to like make ramps everywhere. Right now we can pretty much configure it like to like step up on anything. So like you can have stairs that are like 2 meters high and like you'll still be able to step up on them. So like hopefully there's a noticeable improvement. As far as like the ladder is like.
Plus, I can
like a
imagine
very-
people are going to be making some really cool stuff for the Medra, or even just for the Creator Jam Meta
I can
Maker
even
competition.
showcase one
There
thing
is
real
actually-
quick.
we have actually got a question from Basement Nerd actually there, Nexalon.
Yeah, what's the question?
I can't read that from here, but
Oh, it's on the chat in the middle, like just there.
Can this increase the ability to stick while upside down? I'm literally just thinking of some Sonic maps with loops unlocking character rotations before you hit the loop, so then you spin on it and reclocking at the end of the speed loop. I think they would improve it, right? For
Oh.
sticking colliders, for them being upside down. It should, right?
There's mostly just like the logic that you do on top, so like you would probably like do something like apply a force or change the gravity based on like the velocity. So it won't like do that natively. That's like that's something like you need to like implement like with logics.
But yeah, if you've got any questions regarding this, by the way, just ask. Oh look, Fruits has got his debug visuals.
Yes, can sort of see what's like happening.
Very nice. Okay,
Very
sure.
But
nice.
yeah, if as I say, if you've got questions about the Beppu stuff, feel free to ask. We've got Fruits here, and Fruits should be able to answer any more questions. But also, we've got the more reliable better character parenters as well now. Improve, yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
yes.
the character parameters should be more reliable now. We've had cases where people sort of slip off them and things. I've seen elevators where going up and going down has been a bit sort of wiggly wobbly, so those should be a lot more reliable right now.
And also, like in vehicles, like sometimes like a bunch of people would get like into the vehicle, they would like go fast, and they'd be like, "Oops, like we lost Wraith, or like we lost the net," and so
Yeah.
that's one of the things that's also like because like we pretty much like reworked the whole thing. Like we could look at these behaviors and design everything, so like it's much more reliable. So you can have like fast moving vehicles, fast moving elevators, just like you can rely on the system a little
So
bit.
this means better racetracks and better vehicles,
Yeah.
to put it bluntly.
Better racing.
Yay!
You won't be going
What's
through
that?
the racetrack every single time.
What you mean like when we did the Rainbow Road a couple of weeks
Yes.
ago?
Yes. It'll be better to redo that one with the BEPUv2.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that again with the new BEPU. Yes.
We have... Oh, we do actually have...
Optimizations.
Yeah, optimizations.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Yep, let's go into our optimizations.
So
There's been quite a bit of improvement here. CPU and memory usage is improved with BEPUv2, which, you know, I noticed this when we were doing the tests. It was a lot better, and you've also done some changes to dynamic bone colliders as well.
yes. So like the board like the BEPUv2 is like the engine physics engine itself like it's like a huge optimization. Like the author like Ross Norby has spent like so much time just like designing everything, like fine-tuning everything, like measuring how it works, and just like making sure like every piece of the engine is just like much more smooth. So then itself like helps a lot. And then like on top of that, like we sort of like we rethought like how we like integrate with it and make sure like it doesn't do anything it shouldn't be doing that's taking like performance. So in a lot of maps in Nios, like you'll notice like moderate, in some cases like even like considerable performance boost. Of course it'll depend on the map. Like there's like some maps where we don't see much of an improvement because like they have general like different bottlenecks, but especially collider heavy maps, like which ones have like lots of pieces in them. For example, Dark City 2 by Enverix, when I was testing, there's a section in it where like on the previous build I would get around 70 FPS. With the BEPUv2 I get 120 in the same section on the same computer, so then one saw a huge improvement. And possibly the biggest improvement were like the Minecraft import maps, because one thing they do is they set up tons of colliders for their calling system, so you can like import really huge Minecraft maps, and the colliders sort of like track like where you are in the environment and like enable and disable like the chunks. I had like an import. It's like a really big Minecraft map. It's like I think it's like 8 kilometers in one direction, like 4 kilometers in the other. On the previous build, because there's just so many colliders, like it would run like 20 FPS even on my rig, like, and it would be mostly just like the colliders being constantly updated. With this one, I pretty much like run on desktop around like 110 FPS, and that's mostly limited just by the amount of geometry. Like if I downscale window to like in the low resolution, I get like even almost get to 144. So in those cases, like it helped. It would provide like a huge improvement.
Fruits, where was the biggest improvement with BEPU then?
I would say like collider heavy worlds. Like if you have lots of colliders, if you have lots of triggers in the environment, I know like also we heard from the Meta movie, they actually saw like pretty big improvement in their maps because they just have a lot of stuff in them.
Yeah.
There's lots of like small things as well that kind of like add up. Like for example, like we split like the there's like colliders for the haptics, and before they were kind of like mixed in with everything else. So like the collider for haptics, it would have to be kind of checked against like the other colliders, even if they would never interact. It still has to do that kind of like initial check and figure out, oh, these are not gonna interact. Now it's like completely split up. It runs it parallel. So there's like a bunch of like others like smaller like improvements like that should like overall help provide better performance. Even the loading is smoother, so like you for example have a like when you load into a world, like instead of it computing all the colliders like in background every time you load, it now pre-computes them on the cloud and then just like downloads them, and that's usually like order of magnitude like faster. So
Oh, damn.
yes. So also like for dynamic bones, like this is a thing that we added like recently, is because other reason we upgraded to BEPUv is there's like dynamic bones before, like they pretty much like the way they work, like if I for example interact with the user, the way they figure out like what they can interact with in the environment is like every single dynamic bone would be checking, like if we're trying to find out like, oh, maybe colliding with this user, and we kind of made it as efficient as we could, but like it didn't scale well. Like the more users we join in the world, the more dynamic bones you have, and each dynamic bone is checking now more users, so it sort of has that like exponential like scaling, and it just like started becoming a performance problem. With BEPUv2, it has like a lot of like low level like data structures, and we can utilize the data, like data structures for our own purposes. So we pretty much like redesigned the collision system with the dynamic bones to use those data structures and like query them like much more efficiently.
Nice.
So like now it scales, like it's more like between like linear and logarithmic. So the more people like join in the environment, the it shouldn't like be as bad as before. So it's a lot of like improvements like that. Like general like optimizations are additive. Like you optimize lots of different things, and everything gives you a little bit more performance. Some give you more performance in certain areas, some less in others. But overall, it should be like improving.
Well, as I say, you know, the optimizations have been quite good with this, and we are hopefully going to see more optimizations coming along in the future from this.
We've got lots of plans like in the future. Like the BEPUv with like the integration is like a framework that we can sort of like use to build more stuff. So one of the biggest things we probably want to build is sort of like calling systems. So you can actually like set up the maps to like call out the players, call out like pieces of the environment, make it very easy to use, make the maps like easy to set up with it, and just over like improve performance. So
there's a few questions that we also have here.
Let's get those questions.
Also, sorry you guys, our panel seems to have some technical difficulties, but we'll be able to get through it. Freezek says, character parenter still isn't perfect, as if people are small, force applied to them is still too big, I think. I find it was Frank. Oh, that's probably not really a question. If you guys have any questions inside the chat, just be sure to include a question.
There is a response to that question, which is if they're having difficulties, they can open up a GitHub issue and we can take a look. You can get some of the,
So on our future developments, you know, we have got the BEPUv2 integration, you know, which provides opportunities for optimizations, you know, full rigid, and hopefully, you know, future updates will be the full rigid bodies support.
Yes, that's probably the biggest one. It's like that one's gonna open up like a lot of content creation options, like just by itself.
Yeah,
and that adds to Fezzi also says, oh, can we get dynamic bones to collide with players' colliders, like colliding a tail with a wall without a specific collider setup? So that's it.
That was a little bit tricky because like one of the benefits of dynamic bones is like they are designed for real high performance. You can have lots of them on different characters, but part of it is because they are like very specialized simulations, so like and they're also like a little bit more like restricted in what they can like interact with, so like they don't have to check their interaction against like everything in the environment. But some of the changes, it's technical is possible. It's just a question: can we do it without like a heavy performance impact? And there might be sort of like a way that's like a halfway, where like it sort of like probes the environment a little bit, but like it tries to be restrictive about like what pieces it interacts with.
Yeah.
One of the things that might require is set up like primitive colliders, because if your environment is composed mostly of like mesh colliders, those can be really heavy for collisions, especially for like dynamic bonds, which use very simplified like collisions rather than like full physics ones. So it is. Like, it is potentially possible. It's just a question, like, will we get good enough, like, performance to enable it, like, with everything, or do we sort of, like, do want a system that's, like, sort of halfway?
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions?
The one last question that we have right here from Melodopt stream is the Minecraft map stuff just a good testing environment / excuse to work on improvements that are applicable to the entire engine in general?
Yes. It's actually one of the things is like when I did like the original like Minecraft importer, like part of the reason I did it is like because it sort of provides a good like test bed for a lot of things, and that's actually where I like one of the things where I figure out like, oh, there's like this problem with colliders. If you have like lots of triggers that are supposed to help performance because they kind of call the environment and like selectively load, it actually causes issues. So I could like look into like what's actually causing it, and because like the map was sort of on the extreme of that, like it showcased it really well. But like you've got lots of maps that are not quite on the extreme, but it's still kind of taking performance in those maps. There's even like right now there's like a bunch of other things that I still want to like optimize based on like what was found in Minecraft map, which is for example the mesh loading, because like as you like move in the map and it's like loading the chunks in and like unloading them, you can get a little bit of like a stutter, and it's because like it's like loading that mesh and kind of pushing it to your GPU. So usually projects like that are like a really good way to kind of like push the engine to its limits, figure out like what's causing problems, and then like figure out how can we address it. Because if we address it, like we do it in form of general optimizations, like something that just helps everything. So if there are like maps that are having the same problem, but maybe to a lesser extent, it helps them like a bit. So it is definitely kind of good thing that kind of helps with the development, because it makes it more fun.
Speaking of development as well, we've had some quality of life improvements as well.
We do actually have one final question for BEPUv2.
Go on, we'll get that quick then.
Yep, so Basement Nerds asks, is there any way to rotate a user now that we have unlocked rotation, or are we supposedly waiting for apply torque logics nodes?
Definitely the nodes will help a lot. Right now, like you'll only get like rotation that's from like environment interactions. One thing you can do though is like we split the dampening. So now we have like linear dampening that's like sort of slows down your speed, and we have like rotational dampening. So you can like, if you want, you can like ramp it up, and it will kind of like, if you gain like velocity, it will actually kind of stop you like over time, and you can like modulate it over time as well. So like if you want to map it to a control, let's say like you start spinning uncontrollably, you can like ramp it up and kind of like kill the rotation that way. But we're definitely gonna add like nodes for like controlling the angular velocity, so you can like play with it a lot more.
Awesome. So yeah, let's get on to our next part, which, as I say, we've had some improvements to simple avatar protection, but the main thing is our video player enhancements.
Absolutely. So for video players, we have now subtitle support. So this has been a highly requested item from some of the community members to add subtitles to the videos. So we now have those supported. You can import subtitles in a variety of formats and then display them alongside the video. And you can also sync between the subtitles, syncing them up with the video, or if you want to, separate them from the video sync. And even if you have a subtitle track, you can even do that without a video in progress if you want to. I'm not quite sure why you'd want to do that, but I don't know, if you've got like scrolling text or something, you want to just it, you can just play a subtitle track all by itself.
The whole idea.
A good reason, like one of the reasons like we added is because we're building educational experience that's sort of like like scale of the universe, and it has like a narration. It's not like a video, but like because it is made for schools, they by law they actually require subtitles. So that's a really good way, like where we can sync up like the subtitles to narration, and then like show it in world. So it is made like to be like very general thing. So like or let's say like you're building like some other like narrative experience, like you can use it as a building block.
Got it. That actually makes perfect sense. Things like games and also stuff like that. Yeah, when you're walking through, narrative experiences. Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, sometimes for me, subtitles are quite important, because sometimes when you're watching something as well, sometimes you'll find that the voice volumes might be a bit too low.
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to do like more with it as well, is like make it like easier to kind of display them, like sync them with the different events. But this is sort of like one of the building blocks that's going to be used for it in the future as well.
Absolutely, yes. We've also got another improvement in the sort of video subtitles area is our playback synchronization improvements. I believe that was just for headless, but there might have been some onward traction to non-headless, right? So there was lots of complaints of video being sort of out of sync, particularly on headless. That's been improved now.
Yes. Well, technically, it wasn't actually like specifically for videos, but like there was one of the areas where you would mostly see it. But the major problem is that Nios, it has like this concept of like master clock, and it's pretty much like everything in the world syncs to that master clock. There's like video playback, it's like audio playback, but it's also other things like we have like a spinner, for example. So like. Because the master clock on headless would pretty much never sync, it would just like drift apart. So like you'd probably like we've got like reports of like users like saying like these like wigglers and spinners and their logics and stopwatch nodes and all kinds of like different things would behave weird, but they couldn't quite put why it was. And we found like this was sort of like the underlying cause. So like it helps like the video sync, but it also like it helps with lots of like other like subtle issues that are like happening for a while.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
We have had a question actually, which was, I would think you could use a live audio translate tool on a subtitle track reading off it. That's from the Basement Nerd.
I think like when it comes to live audio, you'd probably be best not using the subtitle system because that's based on a subtitle track file. So it says, at precisely 10 minutes, play this text. 15 minutes, play this text. However, live audio is exactly what's coming in straight from the translation tool.
They said it's not it's not actually a question. Well, the thing is, because you put a question mark in it, our little thing actually brings it up in front of us to mention that it's a question. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that about wraps up our quality of life improvements.
Absolutely.
And a massive thank you to Frooks for coming down again and explaining some of the more awesome things we've got coming up with BEPUv2, and also all the other awesome stuff.
Yes.
But just remember, guys, just remember to use your votes. Because if you vote on something, there's a better chance of it getting pushed harder and it coming sooner.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna poof now.
Yep.
Thank you for
Bye,
feel free
Frooks.
to.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. Here's the question. Is the subtitle system available now? If so, how can we learn how to utilize it?
Right now, the best option would be to go ahead and read the development notes. There also might be a few videos in devlog that will talk to about how you can use it. I will follow up on my list, which is quite a lot of stuff on my list right now, but I'll make sure I get some subtitle systems out there.
Yep.
If you take a look at those update notes, it'll inform you what type of subtitle tracks are supported, and there are other people that are playing out with them. So do check our Nios Discord and ask questions in there. I'm sure someone's already figured it out quite nicely. Yep,
we have got an interview coming up very shortly, which will be with Medra.
We do. We do have one more slide to go over, though. I believe we're... Oh, yep, there we go.
Yep. It's just the bug squashing. This is all mostly down to QC, but as I say, we're going to be talking to Shifty a bit later on about QC.
Absolutely. So to summarize this one, Shifty has launched a QC team, and with her and a great collection of volunteers, they are testing builds more regularly and more efficiently and more sort of formally. They did a lot of testing through BEPUv2 and found a lot of bugs before they even hit you as users. So they were testing things each time a build came out. We have lots of volunteers on there that are just sort of playing around and trying to find things and trying to break things. They do things also a lot more structured as well. So Shifty gives them guidance on, hey, this needs testing, that needs testing, and we can just sort of get through it in a lot more of a sort of faster and improved way.
Exactly. Also, if you guys have got a question for Medra, by the way, we will have him up for an interview. So if you get a couple of questions in chat for Medra, maybe we can get him to answer those as well for you.
Absolutely.
And we'll hand over now to Turk, who is over to our side here with Medra. And I'll just say... Cool. Hello, Medra.
Hello. Hi, Medra. How's it going? Let me just get chat over here real quick. Oh, I seem to can't grab it. Oh, well. Next time.
Just a little.
Alrighty. So, Medra, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. A little bit of a fresh skin, so I can't complain. So,
a little bit of molting always helps.
Right. So, for the basis of the interview, let's get on started. MMC, tell me about it. tell me what the Metaverse Maker competition is.
Okay, so the Metaverse Maker competition, for those of you that don't know, is a month-long competition in Nios where participants create worlds, avatars, or any other type of creation to win a prize. There's no theme, it's free entry, and anyone can participate. Individual or groups are allowed. You can even have multiple entries, and it's all presented by Creator Jam. Now I have to do a shameless plug. This wouldn't be possible without 45 different sponsors that helped donate to the prize pool, and I'm going to name them really quickly, like super fast, because that's too many to name slowly. So it's SolarX, NG, Delirious Jax, VRSys, Techno, Technocontron, Electrospy, Ultranique, Gilfix, Storm, International Dance Competition, Havoc, Get, Jason Moore, Lego, Anomalous, Orange, Shadow Panther, Renium, Probable Prime, June, Lasagna, Mentalish, Rebuts, Kazoo, Anything It Doesn't, Fur, Comdog, Monkey, Red Dragon, Frick, Yugalop, Katena, Kumishi Pacont, Zena, Dante, Lucas Bro, Motivate, Vegas, Tom, Brazil Rocker, Toxic Cookie, Stabby Dark, and Bean. Okay, there.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for sponsoring.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Do you need to breathe after that, Medra?
Yeah.
Yeah, Medra, I didn't catch all that. Could you repeat yourself?
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Backwards now.
No!
Backwards. Whoa, okay. Well, I never knew. Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, and thank you for mentioning the sponsors. I really appreciate that, because I know this competition wouldn't be like a thing without them, because like that's what's contributing to the pride pools for everybody. So for people who might not, who are just finding out about the Metaverse Makers competition, is it too late for them to join at all?
No, not at all. Basically, the competition doesn't end until October 1st, because it is a month-long competition, so you have plenty of time to do anything. Just make sure you turn it in before 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 1800 UTC, which is on a Friday in October 1st. So
Okay.
make sure you do that. And also remember you tag everything. And all this information is available on the Discord, both the Creator Jam Discord and the Nios Discord under MMC2021. And if you type !MMC on the stream, you'll be able to see a bunch of the information that we'll be kind of talking about.
Okay. Cool, thank you. So a lot of people are like, okay, it's a competition, I can enter. Is it a solely only effort, or can you work with people? And how do you find other players to work in a team for this competition?
It can be whatever you want. If you're more of a solo type of person, go for it. If you're more of a person who wants to work in a small team, that works. Or if it's quite a few people, basically, if you have certain skills, or even just an idea person, lots of people need ideas. There is actually a place that you can post up your name on a Google Doc and say, hey, I have these skills, or I'm just really good with ideas, or anything. And you can post that on inside the doc. And if you want to see where that information is, just hit ! On the Twitch chat. ! MMC.
Cool, thank you. And hopefully that's you guys can find all the information within that to help you out if you want to find others too. So going more into the finer details of the MMC, what can you submit? I figure there's a lot of different categories. Okay.
So what kind of things can you submit? Phew. Pretty much anything. You have worlds, avatars, art, applications. It could be code. Anything you can think of. You want to record a short film using Nios? Submit that. If you want to have like a weapon, or last year there was someone made an MMC song. And even like, since we have a meme category, so it could get pretty weird. Last year we even had like a ranch dimension. So
yeah, I remember that. That was a very cursed world.
It was lovely.
No, completely. Alrighty. So then, if people can submit basically whatever, where can they find last year's MMC submissions to get some inspiration if they're like kind of stuck and you're like, I don't know what to make?
Well, what you could do is type plus MMC and then in the world browser in Nios, and that will actually show all the different MMC worlds from last year, including probably some that are coming up this year. That can be great for inspiration.
Do you have any like crowd favorites besides the winners that you would want people to check out? In your eyes would be really good inspirations?
Oh my goodness. I think the best way to do it, because I mean that's difficult, because
that's fair.
Would be my
you don't have to answer. We don't feel like you need to. But
no. One thing that was really special about the MMC is it was kind of like self-portraits. So when people made their pieces, it was something that was like very expressive, even if people didn't think so. So some people's sense of humor came across, some of their sensitivities, and so some entries that no one would even really look at much still are pretty special to me. So I would suggest checking out a bunch of them. If you want to go with ones that are just like scraped off of based on the judging and everything else, you could go into the kickoff world, and in there is the first place winner, all the place winners, as well as the honorable mentions, and that's a good start. But I strongly recommend just kind of going with looking through the browser to see things that kind of like catch your fancy, because everyone has different tastes.
Because I definitely remember last year there was a lot of like little maps and stuff that just didn't get like any type of acknowledgement, but they did really well and they were really cool for what they were.
Absolutely, there's so many. There's overwhelmingly more good stuff than you could really know about. Like there's 79 entries, and there's a little awesome thing about each one, really. And
I think the year before that, when you were going through some of the NCC stuff, like there were maps I hadn't even seen, and I've been here for like a while at that point too. So you'd be surprised what you'll find, guys. Alrighty then. So how do you think the changes to Nios in the last year will affect this year for the MMC?
Well, basically any improvements or optimizations, features or tutorials just give you more under your tool belt to be able to use. Like it's great because, as Nios gets more and more robust and there's more assets from the community, there's more code to reference, more worlds to look at and just gain inspiration from. It just adds to the things that you can use for reference and resources to have.
Okay.
So it'll help out a lot.
Cool. Now, here's a question. I don't know if you can share this or not, but how many players have already registered?
I think it's okay to share. We have 137 people that have already registered, and by personal metrics, already 185 people that'll probably be participating that we know of. And that's kind of crazy because last year we had 205 participants. So I think that we'll see a whole lot more still. And that's just, remember, this is only for the first few days. So think about like halfway through, it'll be kind of crazy.
That's fair. I know there's a couple of groups like I personally see who just haven't turned in the registration form yet. A lot of people are probably just like waiting till the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. So important question from one of the production crew in the back. So Medra, this is a very important question. I'm sure everyone in chat will also want to know. What is Creator Jam, and why can't I find it on the shelves in my local grocery store?
It's okay. I guess I'll have to say it's kind of pretty potent stuff on the market, especially the interdimensional market. So you have to find the right dealer, know the right person, and But you might find it if you're looking in the right places.
So, but how do you make Creator Jam?
Well,
if you gotta find like such a special provider for it.
Well, I can't tell you how the process works. That's part of the secret, isn't it?
Okay,
like
that's
the secret
fair.
Sauce, the secret secret goo.
That's fair.
I know. Cheese level increasing.
Cheese level increasing. Well. But Medra, is there anything else you want to mention to the chat or the rest of the community for MMC that you would like to acknowledge at least?
Yeah, just if you think that you're not able to do it because you don't have the skills or you're worried that you won't win, go into it like a game jam, that you're just going to go there to have fun, maybe make some friends and just learn some things. And so I strongly recommend everyone try it. And you get to be part of a big community event that you can say that you did with a lot of other people and share the joy of just participating in it.
I completely agree and second that. Like last MMC, I learned so much. Like while it's also a fun experience, it's also a bit of like a challenge for people, and people can grow really large from it. Last year, I know we saw people like who are this person, but then this year, everyone knows who that person is now. So it's very much a crucible of events for people to like make their mark.
So we have a few questions in the chat. One snooper is asking, where was the registration? ? They're looking for the registration.
Let's see. If it's not on the exclamation point, see, you can go to where the rules are, and in there's actually a section that says registration.
Yep, so we just got a link for the Nios MMC channel, the Discord, as well as the area to where you can sign up. There you go. Well,
yeah, and there should be other links for anybody if they have like any more questions. I do know if there's anything like more detailed, there are also rules to the competition too. So definitely read up on those to kind of like a good solid understanding, so you guys don't kind of like get into weird territory too.
And Fuzzy's asking this for you, Medra. How is it to have utensils as hands?
Oh, it's more comfortable than having hands. Sometimes I switch into humanoid form and it feels uncomfortable. So
Oh my.
yeah,
Makes sense.
I'd rather
For the building process.
you know you get used to your embodiment, and you know that's who you are.
Yeah. Like, so if you try to do like fingers, like, do you feel like the knife edge is moving, or does the fork kind of bend?
Oh no. It's just like replacing something out. Like it would be kind of like
Okay.
if you had
The
rubber
fork,
hands
he
and
doesn't have a
decided to
fork,
put
he only
them.
has a spoon and a knife.
No, he's had a fork before. I remember.
No forks.
Oh, fair enough.
Nope,
Also,
these are my only utensils. here.
somebody had a great idea about using alphabetical cereal and then making real life toast, making it look like the Creator Jam thing. I now have to do that.
Oh
I'm gonna
my.
buy some white
Oh,
toast
Huh?
with some with some like blackberry jam, and then put like a CJ, then have it dye it with like blue dye for the alphabetical.
Oh, that
cereal.
reminds me of something. Oh
Yes.
no. Oh no. You've gone and done it. Let me see.
Oh,
This
Medra
is
has a
loving.
surprise. Oh boy.
Oh,
Let's
there's
see
Brian.
if I can find it in time. I don't know what that is, so probably shouldn't do it on stream. Okay.
Electronus wants an RTX Medra.
An RTX.
Does the toast just get sharper, or like does it just get more crunchy?
But when it's
Weird question.
They,
I
in
don't
Pineapple,
know.
they do have a fork
Wow.
as well.
That's true.
Nice fuzzy. Yeah, that's a different type of jam altogether.
I was going to say, we're not repeating that.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. All right, then one final question then, Medra, before I kind of like let you go. See if you want to stay after,
Sure.
feel free. So what do you think is the most special thing about MMC for everyone? I know it's different personally for you, but what's the most special thing about MMC for you?
For me or for everyone? You asked two different questions.
Oh, sorry. I just context raising. What is the most special thing about MMC to you?
The most special thing is to see a fervor in Nios, that everyone gets excited for a common event, some kind of rallying point to at least even finish something. Like sometimes people will have all these projects. I'm guilty of it too, where you're like, oh, I have this cool thing, and then you have like a bunch of just nice projects in a pile. They're like, I'll get around to, and then just to say, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then complete it and have it to share it with everyone. And so I think that's the special thing for me, is to have this thing that people get to call their own and share it with everyone as a community.
Okay, cool. Well, Medra, thank you for your time here on the Nios recap. It's always a pleasure to have you. It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It was a
But
pleasure to be here.
Oh, anytime. But I'm sorry, I have to send it back to Prime and Wraith so that we can introduce our
Yes.
next guest for the stream.
Thank
Sounds
you very
good,
much,
thank
Medra. It's been awesome having
everyone.
you on.
Thank you, Medra.
So,
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
there has been quite a key thing that has happened recently in Nios as well, regarding our NCR, which is we actually have now reached our 100th mint of NCR.
Woo!
So,
Batch
That
would be
is-
the minting batch, yes.
yes, 1/5 is now done. And it's just, thank you guys.
NCR is
all I can
up
say on that
350%. Such a huge leap for
It's
it.
just amazing. It really is. Trying to think.
Absolutely.
What else have we?
Oh, there was one more thing.
Go on then, Prime.
There is one more thing. So the other thing to note is that we've just released a security policy. We kind of had one sort of word of mouth that was going around, but now we have an official document. When you go ahead and try and report our security policy on our GitHub issue tracker, it will refer you to our security document instead. That sends you to our moderation system, where you can report any moderation issues, not just security issues, but that's also where you support security issues. There's a full guide on how to do it, what we're interested in, what we're looking at, and if you report good quality security issues that lead to action on a hunt, you may even end up with a CDFT reward for your report. So do go ahead, take a look. We will not ban you for poking around in our systems. Just don't do it in public, and don't do it to harass other users. Just take a look at that document for any more information that you'd like to see. It just got released yesterday. Have fun, I guess.
I was going to say the best bug hunters are usually those who are playing and just being
Absolutely.
on the platform. And as I say, you can get the form at moderation.neos.com.
Yep.
And check the security document. I believe that's on the wiki now as well.
It's on the wiki. It's on the GitHub. It's already been translated to Japanese on the wiki as well, which is fantastic. I love our wiki translators.
Our translators are absolutely amazing. Hats off to all you guys. So much love.
Fantastic. With that, I think we're about ready for our next interview. I think we're ready.
Yep. Which means we'll be handing over to Shifty, who will be with our lovely Turk.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you here, Shifty. How are you doing today?
Thank you. It's doing pretty good today. Just kind of been sitting around all day, just waiting for this moment to
Nice.
talk with the QC team.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're really excited, so let's get into some of the topics then. So, Shifty, what is the quality control team?
So the quality control team is Nios' third volunteer team. It coexists alongside our moderation team and our mentor team. There are a few fundamental goals that the QC team is meant to solve, one of which is helping to bridge the communication gap between Nios' community and our developers, and the other which is to help improve the quality of reports that our developers see, just to make sure that they can get through issues in a more efficient manner.
Okay, cool. Alrighty then. So now tell me, how does a quality control team differ from a quality assurance?
Yeah, so quality assurance and quality control are basically two ends of the developmental pipeline. I know, like, for a lot of people, they can kind of mix the terms up or just use them, like, really interchangeably, but they are pretty different things. Quality assurance basically just means our developers are always doing their best to maintain the quality of the code, just make sure that everything's up to, the standards that we hold, to ensure that things work reliably for the long term. Quality control is on the other side of that, and it comes about in terms of identifying, mistakes, because our developers are human, and foxes and other things. Volley.
There's many a different variety.
Yeah, they can make mistakes too, and it's our job on the QC side to just help identify and replicate what those issues are, so that the developers can do their best to get things patched up and fixed and shipped.
Okay. Now, what is like one of the more trickier problems you tend to run into with QC?
In what sense?
Just like a really common problem you tend to run into, or something more of where it's like a thing people tend to confuse a lot, but you end up resolving.
That's kind of the thing, is because it's a really encompassing subject, there isn't necessarily just one specific set of problems. It's always extremely different in terms of what you need to do to isolate and replicate it. There's just, I wouldn't say there's one specific issue that's consistent. There are frequently reported things, of which many of which would be on our priority Patreon priority tracker in our GitHub.
Okay. So what type of advice then would you give to the average bug reporters then? Because I realize QC is not something everyone's gonna just get at the get-go.
Yeah, it is definitely a skill set that needs to be developed, and for that I actually have a document that I had released the other day. It can be found inside of the testing channel of the community Discord. And it goes over a lot of things, including the QC team structure, some best practices in terms of what you should kind of be looking for in terms of bugs, general practices for how you should try to go about replicating and reporting things, and just other things that just help improve the chances that our developers will have an easy time of addressing the issue.
Okay, and it seems like somebody may have linked it in chat. Thank you. Who has done that? Alrighty then. So then, this is a bit of a different shift from a lot of people are used to within the Nios community. How's this going to affect the danger tester role in the future?
So, historically, for context, for those that aren't aware, we've had the danger tester role available in the Nios community Discord, and to this point, it has kind of served as a grouping of users that have expressed an interest in helping to test the nightly builds of Nios before they go live. So, like, large major features. So, like, for example, when we're doing various UI reworks, such as the introduction of the context menus, other things like that, the danger testers were there to just kind of help give feedback and report issues. At the time, it was kind of a little loose, not as structured as the QC team is.
I remember those days. Some days it was good, some days it was chaos.
Things could be pretty chaotic because it was like one single channel. Everyone's just like constantly flooding messages.
It got pretty overwhelming sometimes too.
Yeah, definitely. We benefited a lot from Discord's new thread feature. That's part of what made recent testing go significantly better, is just in the fact that we can just align it in a really structured way.
I agree. The thread feature could not have come at a better time because, like, it made collating and just kind of grouping all the issues together just to get discussions with them so organic. It was so nice.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing too, is like all of the structures that were put in place for the benefit of the QC team also helped out with the danger tester role, because people had a kind of set of expectations to look at for, like, okay, we're using threads, this is how you report things, and it just kind of made things run a lot smoother. And we caught a majority of bugs before they even hit the live build.
No, I was there, part of the process with you guys. Like, and given this context for everyone, like, the QC team did phenomenal. Seriously, pat on the backs. If you ever see a QC member, seriously, tell them they're awesome because they did such a good job for that. Like, the threads were crazy. We went through so many issues. Like, it was nuts. So seriously, props to you and your QCers.
Thank you. Just back to the original part of the question for a moment. We asked,
sure.
like, how is the role itself changing for danger testers? Fundamentally now, it is going to serve as just a notification role. It is a self-assignable role. You can find it inside of the welcome channel in the community Discord. And it is basically just a way of letting users that are interested know, hey, there is a testing build that's available to the public. Just come help try to break things.
Okay, cool, and thank you. So then, I'm sure a lot of people are like wondering, ooh, we now have a new volunteer team. We got mentors, we got mods, but now we got QCers. How do they join the team if they want to contribute to Nios in any way?
So for the moment, the initial QC team have all been handpicked by me. They are all members that have contributed in really meaningful ways to our GitHub in the past, and are people that I find that I work well with. I do have an application form. I'm not currently accepting additional applicants, as I wish to kind of get the day-to-day flow of the team running a little more smoother. Just make sure everybody's, feeling in place, feeling comfortable before I just kind of start bringing in more people and just scaling things up.
No, I completely understand. It was like that with the mentors and stuff as we initially got them started. So believe me, I understand completely.
Yeah.
All right then. So so while you're not looking for people now, I figure this is a good time for people to like practice and get like a good head on their shoulders with stuff like this. What are some qualities that you're looking for in potential applicants?
Yeah, much in the way that you don't need to be a mentor to help other users. You don't need to be a QC team member in order to report bugs and feedback through the proper channels to our developers. As mentioned, my QC team structure doc is a good resource to refer to for the sort of sets of expectations that I'm holding for the team. As mentioned, there's like a bit of a skill set to it. Generally, it's good to be analytical. It's good to be able to just like replay and process things that just happened, because like sometimes you'll see something weird and you're like, wait, what was that? You need to just like play it back in your head and think, okay, what led up to that, so that you go, okay, I'm gonna replicate that. But that's another thing too, though, is the QC team is not solely just for the highly technical users of Nios, because as mentioned, a part of the QC team is bridging that communication gap, and for that, there is a more social role available as well within the team for users that are just wanting to just collect and collate feedback, things that they're hearing the community is having issues with, and just kind of bringing that back into us so we can just like process it and deal with it and make GitHub issues accordingly.
Okay, cool, thank you. And I'm sure if folks in the chat want to read up more on the role and that they are interested in this, because I will recommend, not everyone is, not that they're not fit out for this, but not everyone will always be interested, because I do know sometimes with some of the QC stuff, it can get pretty, like, monotonous, because like you have to repeat tasks a lot. You have to find the
yeah.
What's the word?
That's...
the replication steps to get to it. So
yeah, exactly. Because like fundamentally, that is a lot of what it can be. Is just kind of like, say you're testing collisions. Sometimes you just gotta just keep throwing yourself at that wall for the one time that you pass through it.
No, I completely agree. You'd be surprised how often in that one attempt you're like, I found it, I got it.
But yeah, a lot of it is just down to just bringing things down to their simplest elements, just stripping out any and all unnecessary steps and functions, components, just bringing things down to this is the simplest possible scenario to replicate this issue.
Okay. Well, if folks are interested in the QC team at all, and hopefully once Shifty gets everything all settled out for her team, and you want to apply, do look at that doc. I think it's been published into the Discord, and I don't know if anybody can link it in chat. If you can, I would love that. Thank you.
It's in chat.
But yeah. Oh, thank you, Prime.
I do believe Git linked earlier.
Thank you, Git. All right, then. So then some of the more tinier questions that I'm sure everyone's wanting to know. Will the team have its own badge and name color?
That is something that is being discussed internally and is something we would like to push forward with. We do not currently have a design set, but I do have a color in mind. I would love it to be brown, because brown is my favorite color.
I kind of expected that. I was like,
I had a suspicion.
But it's gonna be. I'm excited to see once we do what the design of the badge will be and like what the color will be. Because it'll be nice for people to like go into a world and be like, hey, that person knows how to bug test stuff. I'm gonna bug them. So.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing as well. Is like, again, anyone is able to report these things, but for somebody that doesn't feel technically competent, or just doesn't quite understand what their issue is or why it's happening, that is a good place that they can go to, is just like say like, hey, I'm having this issue, and we can then start from there and process that accordingly, just to figure out what's up.
It works out. Alrighty then. So then, second to last question then. So what inspired you to launch the QC team?
There were a few factors, really. One of which was that communication gap and hearing that criticism of, oh, the Nios team isn't listening to us. Then, as mentioned too, there was also some chaos in how the testing process had run before. So really, it's just a matter of just like structuring and formalizing a lot of the processes so that things just run a lot smoother and are much more scalable, so that things can continue to be reported and fixed in a timely manner. Because historically, there's been a lot of cases where our developers have had to take time out to like ask people follow-up questions like, hey, you didn't include this, or like, hey, like I can't replicate this, like can you please give more information so that I can help with this, and like we will still get cases like that, and that's quite okay, because as long as the issue is being reported and as long as we have somebody there to just kind of help get those details figured out, it is not a problem.
Okay.
And
Cool. Thank
can be
you.
eventually fixed. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well, a final question for you, and then I think I'm going to pass you back over to Prime and Wraith. So, with the QC team, what is the one thing I think you're really excited to see with it? Like a thought for the future.
Honestly, I'm just really excited to just do more testing, because the BEPUv2 testing was an absolute blast. Just getting everybody
Lately.
in, just working in completely coordinated way. It was just an absolute pleasure, and I guess I'm just really excited just for the potential to just see what this team can do and how we can improve Nios' developmental pipeline going forward into the future, and just making things all the more scalable. Because like there's also going to be additional tooling in the future as well that's going to help both us and the general community, such as Neozine, which is our new launcher, which is currently in the process of being worked on in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, just pieces to get it ready anyway.
Of course. With stuff like this, there's never like a definitive like when is it happening, but it's happening in the
Yeah.
background when you can.
Yeah, because it will open up a lot of potential things, such as the ability to do regression testing by just like switching to an earlier build in Nios, having concurrent branches so that there can be multiple features that are developed in parallel. A lot of other things like that will just improve the general flow of things going forward.
Okay. Well, Shifty, thank you for your time here. Thank you for showing off chat with your wonderful presence. It's been a pleasure talking to you about the QC team, and hopefully everyone now has a little bit better idea of like, hey, this is Shifty. She's our QC lead. And she did a wonderful job with getting everyone together for the BEPUv build, which made it go without a hitch.
Thank you so very much, Shifty.
Yeah, thanks,
No
Shifty.
problem.
Thank you, Shitty.
But back to Prime, Wraith, and oh, hey, Frooks is over there. Hi, Frooks.
Yes, we found Frooks. There is one thing actually that did make me laugh that I saw, by the way, during that whole thing, was Snooper said, the petition for the Neos logo, but it's got glitches in it.
That's perfect. Oh my
A
god.
glitched Neos logo. You know what? I think that's a really good idea. I like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
There we go. Nice one, Snooper. But yes, we're back. We're going into our Q&A section now.
I believe we've got one item before.
But I do believe Frooks has got something he wants to talk about first.
I do.
Do you?
Do you?
The QC Fruits, the QC team.
Oh yes. No, it's pretty much like Shifty pretty much like said it all, but like where did the pictures go? Where are the pictures?
Yeah, I think he wants it
No,
on
put them behind.
Let me see
Pretty
it.
much like made like the development like process like so much easier because like I was saying like before it was
I'm just going to find these
like
pictures.
it just turned into like chaos and like working with like the team like made like a good approach just
Hey,
focus on
Fruits,
like
your
figuring out-
audio right now is kind of breaking up there just a little bit. We're
Oh,
taking-
wait.
Yeah, I think it's the... Yeah,
Because-
seems
I
to
know
be
the session's
connection.
been a bit interesting
go.
for some of us this time,
Here we go.
but
Just
it's okay.
I can understand.
yes. I can understand you.
So pretty much like this is like just like to go like this
I
is
can't
also,
understand anyone right
good
now.
help, right?
Like, I
It's
don't
okay.
think, I don't think chat... Well, is it okay? I don't think chat's gonna be able to understand him either.
Give me a moment.
There's something an accident.
No, okay.
No, Fruits is breaking up on stream.
No, it's not just Frooks, it's all
Yeah,
of
that's
us.
what I'm saying.
Weird.
That's
I mean, I could
At a
try
moment,
rejoining, maybe. I don't know if it's me.
who's testing?
No, I
Ethan.
can hear Turk. Pretty fine.
Yeah, did the blip go? Can you hear us fine? Test.
Audio issues.
Well,
It's weird that it's just started
wonderful.
happening right now.
Wonderful bug for the QC team.
Oh
Chuck
no,
is-
you're breaking up as well.
Oh no.
So, and the thing is, I can hear everyone clear as a bell in here.
Mm.
Same.
So,
Should
I
I,
can't
just, should,
hear.
should I try rejoining instead? Should I try rejoining?
yeah,
Yeah.
try rejoin,
Yeah, let me
just switch to the other scene first.
set technical difficulties real quick.
Thank-
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
There we go. Now you should be able to speak.
Where did next go?
Mhm.
The
No.
camera's in the anchor that we need.
Yeah.
Yep, camera, we are back.
Oh, next, get out of the box.
Oh, no kidding.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's all part of that.
Okay. Okay, no worries.
Okay, so
That's fine now.
let's...
Relatively.
Yeah, everything seems to be okay for now.
Okay.
So let's get started again.
What I was like saying, or it's pretty much just like affirming, is about like these two pictures. I did like a screen cap of pretty much all the Discord threads. Like this one's the QC team, so it is all the issues that are like reported. These are the ones from like public testing, but in the public testing we got like members of the QC team participating very actively, following up with people on reports, like trying to replicate the issues, because one thing we didn't notice, like during internal testing, like we get reports that they're like more detailed, they can provide more information, they already start to narrow it down, but like in the public testing, some of the reports are just like, this thing is weird, and then we have to kind of follow up, like, why is it weird? What do you mean weird? And the QC team like would help a lot with that. Like they would like follow up with the person, try to figure out like what's actually going on, and then when fixing the bug, I could actually like narrow it down and like focus on like, oh, this is the problem, and that saves a lot of time like on my end, like developing, making sure like we can knock out all of these like issues like much faster than we would have been otherwise. So just to reaffirm like what Shifty has been saying, like this has been like huge help like in the development process, made the development a lot more fun as well. It made it go like much faster, and it made sure like all of these bugs, all of these issues like they wouldn't happen on the main build, like when it got pushed to public. So thank you very much like Shifty, and thanks like the whole QC team as well.
Yeah, I was going to say the QC team have been awesome, because I'd say, I've been in there, I've seen what's been going on with the QC team, and it has been, testing out the BEPUv2 and, helping out ever so slightly, but, I'm not exactly a QC tester, so, it doesn't really work well for me, but it was just cool to, see all the threads and everything that was being worked on. And yeah, Shifty is a hero.
Also, you can check out
Thank you.
the release notes and the weekly update. Like we listed all the people like who participate in the QC. There's the ones like that made like reports. So if you'd like to like see more, like definitely check that out.
But yeah, I will say it, and this will, the QC team are the unsung heroes of Nios.
Cool.
But we'll move on to Q&A now. If anyone's got any questions, please fire them off in chat, and we'll try and answer them.
Whatever questions you have, you can ask anything. We'll try and get those answered.
Careful, not anything, but everything we can.
No. I'll
You
give
want
it an
anything?
answer.
Okay.
It might not be correct, but I'll give it an answer.
Okay.
Appropriate ones.
And just remember,
What if they'll ask a very personal question? They'll get
if you've got,
stressed.
by the way, if you also still have any questions that you wanted to ask over to Medra as well, we do still have Medra in the studio as well. So,
Oh, we do.
We have cheese-related questions, quite a lot of them. So I believe I will
on,
just
look
go
at-
through them quite quickly. Favorite cheese? I don't really have favorites. What's the cheese for tonight? I'm out of cheese for tonight. I don't have any cheese tonight. I've got like soup on the cards. There's a carton of soup waiting for me. How do I get the cheese node? That's in my public folder. Go to public probable prime art cheese. There is a collection of cheese. What do I think of Stilton cheese? Stilton's great. Blue cheese is totally fine. I don't mind cheese like that way. What is the airspeed of a fully laden swallow? Do you mean an African swallow or a
That is a.
Hey!
Oh my.
European or a European swallow? Yeah, that's the quote. Yes,
I was gonna say,
depends.
do you guys want to come over to the couch so we can have everyone answer questions?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we'll come sit over the couch. Is
Fair enough,
Fruits a
Face.
yellow and purple wraith? No, Fruits was the Rex first.
That is no, don't no. He is the Fruits.
Fruits is Fruits. Fruits is the OG. Fruits
Oh,
and
well, now
Fruits.
We'll have to move the questions over now.
I'll pretty much just use this for face tracking
Got it.
and then
One
get
second.
stuck.
They're not
It's not
grabbable!
Oh no.
I got it. 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 I got it.
Let's go!
Okay, there's the questions. And then there's chat. And then
Alright, we'll
There you
put
go.
chat there.
Oh
There you
gee.
I'm making that a slider.
Sniper, always.
I just had that in the right position. Don't move them.
Now,
It's locally positioned as far as I'm aware.
yeah, just make sure you guys don't grab them once you're good.
Okay, so yeah, we've done that one. Is there any official Nios tutorials out there? Well, you know, pretty much I could say at this point, most of the tutorials that Probable Prime does are the best ones to go look for. They're official as
Those
they'll
are-
get.
But
They aren't like labeled as official or anything like that. We do plan on making some more polished tutorials. I have a policy of no editing on my channel, which sometimes gets me into sort of challenges. An outtake video is coming soon mentioning that. There are some earlier ones that are really good on Fruxis's channel where they talk about some new features in their style. And then there's some really old ones by Business Lawyer that talk about logic that are really old UI, but they're still good for learning logics. They're like the best we've got for beginner logics tutorials right now.
Yeah, there is
It's
a
also the
tutorial
MTC.
folder.
Oh yeah, and then the MTC as well as Frixie says.
question from Super. Medra, if you're the bread, why are you in the middle of the couch sandwich?
Hey, we don't.
He has a point
we don't have to
there.
pigeonhole. We don't have to pigeonhole how it's supposed to be or how
I'm
it has to
asking the
be.
question. I'm just the messenger.
It's a sandwich.
Yeah.
Bread can
Go
be on the
sandwich.
middle. That's
Sandwich
a good
witch.
sandwich right there.
Yeah.
The
Fruits
meat,
is
then you
orange.
got bread, then you got the meat, then you got bread.
Is it yellow?
Then you got bread.
It's
No.
yellow.
It's yellow.
Yellow.
Oh, I like the idea. Can we have a stream with all the devs in one world with no plans? I want to see the chaos.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
No.
Neo's
Get
on
a-
in
I bring
stream.
out my Hell Sky books.
Get a nice St. Patty's Day stream again. That sounds about pretty apt.
Oh God. No.
And circuitry, that would probably be like a non-disclosure sort of question, so we wouldn't really be able to answer that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But yeah, what's everyone got planned for the weekend?
MMC. Got a lot of building to
MMC?
do. Got a lot of building to do.
What about you, Shifty?
Oh, we got our team meeting tomorrow.
Yay, meetings.
Even more meetings. Let's
Yay,
go.
meetings.
Yay, meetings.
And we know what Medra's up to on Sunday anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Create a jam.
Zerky is
Oh.
asking, what is
Yeah.
Nex's first ruling as king of the space chickens? I don't know what that means. I'm a raptor.
Oh no.
I was gonna say he's a
I do not have a
Aval is
beat.
a space
And
raptor.
I don't taste like chicken, so
I don't
Free
know.
ruling.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to. It smelled like chicken that time when you were over in BEPUv2 world in front of the flamethrowers.
Oh my gosh, you're so stupid.
Wait, you can spell in VR?
I don't know.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
I could smell chicken
I'll
at the
bring that
time.
back up though. There is a device, you guys, that's being made out, the Cilia device, so then you can actually start having scents and smells in VR. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to be getting one of the first pieces of hardware for it
Ooh, okay.
That's a good question actually for Medra. Are creator jams for September on hold due to the MMC?
Nope, we keep going. We go throughout, and then last year, even when there's not everyone was participating in the MMC, and some people wanted a break from just doing things all the time. They would just want something that was more relaxed. For them, some people put a lot more pressure on themselves. Creator jams are not meant to be pressure heavy. Just you go in and go out.
Yeah. Oh God, Fuzzy. Did Medra just take off his mouth, or was I seeing stuff?
Maybe.
I hear Creator Jam has some hallucinogenic properties. Maybe we're having the jams just kind of get into all of
Super
us.
asks, can we make a Sense VR smell for the Twitch chat pizza? Yeah, you know what? I think that there is a tomato smell or even a cheese smell that you can have for the Sense. So I will get some of those oils for it, and then I can make it so that I can smell the
it'll
pizza.
just be smells awful.
Maybe. I mean,
Smells like
they have Parmesan.
pasta.
They have a Parmesan scent. I think that would be interesting to mix it in with the tomato scent.
Ooh, here's an interesting question. While I may not have a clear answer on this, what is the Nios store going to look like? Flat UI, 3D world?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, both.
Oh, okay,
There's
that
actually
works.
like a really cool thing like we're planning with the store is like you're gonna have like the traditional like flat UI interface because that's something like people are familiar with. Like we want to also make it like so actually have a website where you can browse the stuff. But one of the cool things is about it like that we're actually like tie the information about the item to the item itself. So like let's say you have something in the world and let's say this is a paid item. So I can be like, I really like this, I want to save this. If you try to save this, the system's gonna tell you this is actually a paid item. Like if you want to save it, like you need to buy it. That way, like you, like if you're a creator in Nios, you'll be able to sort of like sell items just by like a social exposure because like people are gonna bring the items out, gonna complain with them, and if somebody's like, I really like the item that this person has, I want it as well, I'm gonna save it, it's just gonna tell you like, oh, you need to actually buy it. So that way like you can get like some sales like sort of organically by just people having fun with it. Or if you want, like you can build a world that's like a store. You place the items there, like on a display, like you build it like whichever way you like, and if somebody likes it, takes it there, they can buy it right at a like sort of virtual like store. Or if they're like searching for it, like it can be in the flat UI. So like the system's pretty much not gonna like care too much. Like it's gonna be the information that's tied to the item. So
Interesting.
I think that's gonna provide like a quite a good like flexibility.
Hey, Fruits, you got
okay.
you got a gift subscription from Earthmark.
Oh my.
Nothing.
You
But
got a
Earthmark,
Twitch.
thank you for the
Earthmark
subs.
Earthmark gave gifted subscriptions, and Fruits got one.
Oh, thank you for that, Earthmark. And then Xerxes Dragon says, was this discussed? I'm so sorry if I missed it. What was the next major issue being worked on after BEPUv2?
I don't think that was brought up at all. I don't know if there is an answer to that question, and you're welcome to add in. No,
I kinda,
okay.
like, I'm still kind of like cleaning up like a few things afterwards, and like some other like internal stuff as well. So I'm probably gonna be like looking into it and like deciding like what's gonna be the next major thing.
I know
Alrighty.
what'll be our next major thing. GitHub Patreon, everyone vote.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, voting for the GitHub and Patreon let you as a community know what you guys want focused. A couple of I think the top 3 issues right now are hip tracking, collections, and rigid bodies.
Yes.
So please vote. If you guys don't know how to vote, ask for people for help. Seriously, your vote counts.
Yep, and
Yeah,
Skip
Yeah,
says,
this is
Skibadoo
it's
says,
another reason.
as you can tell, I'm new to this, but is there a tool for to sculpt a model directly inside Nios? We do have printers, as well as I'll show you this brush right here. You can kind of like make out, you know, I'm all using the convex hull brush.
Convex hull brushes.
Yeah, and people have even made like statues using this, or you can use procedural meshes that are here inside of Nios too to make some cool and unique stuff. But yeah, you can definitely do some stuff, but it probably wouldn't be as advanced sculpting as you'd see in like other sculpting programs.
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
But
Just
kind of to
pretty
touch
basic.
back on the voting, if we can. Shifty, you were trying to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that's another reason that folks should take the time out to make a GitHub account as well. It is a generally useful thing. It is not as scary as people like to think. But you can also give a thumbs up on the original post of any given issue, and that will also factor into the general prioritization of the issues.
Yep.
Especially every time like we're like deciding like what to like work on next, like we look like the Patreon votes, we look at the GitHub votes, we look at like what Nios needs, we look like at like what kind of reviews and feedback we're getting from new players, and try to like factor all that in like into like what's gonna be like the best the best next move for Nios, like overall. There's certain things that I'm also going to be working on that I can like mention. We can actually touch them earlier. Is like tools like the Nios scene, which are like custom like update service, and that's something like we need a lot internally as a team, and like for like some like business uses and so on, because pushing new builds and sort of like managing that, and especially with more developers, is like it's taking like increasingly more time away from actually developing. Like even for example, when I was like working on BEPUv, like I had to be constantly like switching between like the BEPUv branch and the master branch. Like whenever I wanted to like push out like some bug fixes or merge like some changes from other developers, like, and I think I spent at least like 3 hours of time like just alone and just like managing those different like branches, and it's like time that's not spent actually developing. It's just like going from one branch to like another. So like improving like the internal tools, that's also like one of the important things like for us, and you might see us like push those a little bit more through.
Yep. Here's a question: how do you launch Nios in a window instead of full screen?
Answer what?
How do you launch Nios in a window instead of full screen?
You can like, there's like a command line arguments that are like accepted by the Unity, so like you can like look up the web page on the documentation, or like when you launch Nios, you can press Alt Enter and it'll like switch it to like windowed.
I was going to say it's probably minus window if it's based on that. So, circuitry minus window argument.
Those can all be found on the wiki. They're all documented there. List of command line arguments.
There you go.
Yeah,
As mentioned
too, if you press Alt Enter at any point, it will go into windowed mode, and that windowed state will be saved and respected the next time you launch Nios as well.
Awesome. Well, I think I don't think we've got any more questions. So,
any last little ones, Chad, before we go off?
Yep, we'll take just a few more questions if you guys have any more, and then we will be ending off the stream. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching this Nios recap stream.
I'm gonna call all our team down. Come on, guys, come on down.
Come on down. Don't worry. Nothing that's gonna happen.
How do you vote? There you go.
So, how to vote for Patreon. What you want to do is, I know there's least utility in Nios that somebody has made. I think Epsilon made it, for being able to get a command for that issue, and then send it to the Nios bot that will consider it for Patreon voting. If you want to vote on GitHub, just go on GitHub and add an emoji react in terms of like a thumbs up, and that will let you people know at least what's going on with that.
Yeah.
And if you ever have any questions or get stuck, seriously, ask in the Discord. Everyone would be happy to help.
Yes.
Yep, and Heavy asks, hey, I see the Creator Jam guy there. I have a question for you. How did you start the first Creator Jam?
Okay, the first Creator Jam was June 2nd, 2019, and it was just a small group of people, and we built out inside a cave. There was a procedural cave made based on cellular data, and people ended up building in their own little sections, and that's what started it all.
Heck yeah, the origins.
I think I joined around like Jam 15.
Note that you can visit that cave, so you can go type in CJ. If you just type in the letter CJ, they can be lowercase or uppercase. You can see every Creator Jam, and at the very first one, you can go in and explore and see who all participated. Even we have it in the credits.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, as I say, it's awesome, the Creator Jam. It really is. It's it's cool just to see all people getting together, and it actually shows off the power of Nios and this whole community building as well. So thank you very much, Medra, for organising the Creator Jam.
Thank you.
It's kind of like how. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
Oh, I was just want to mention, it's also like crazy like how long we've been like doing it, because like now it's like over like 2 years, and like there's 100 plus like Creator Jam worlds, and it's like I don't know how you do it, like every like week, like getting people together, organizing everything, and it's been like the source of some of the like most like creative stuff like in Nios. So thank you.
Oh well, thank you. Like, thank you for making the engine so we were able to just be able to do all these things and be able to get together like we are now. It's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
oh,
It's truly an inspiration to all of us on here. Really.
Yeah.
Thank you, Medra.
And speaking of thank yous as well, I'd like to say thank you for everyone that, has been here today watching us do the recap stream. You guys out there are just absolutely awesome. Just seeing you guys interacting in chat and throwing the questions at us, it just makes this so much more worth it. It really does. And thanks to you guys for coming along and watching our streams.
Truly, thank you.
And I think we can lead off with one last question,
Alrighty.
which is, will everything have rigid body physics?
Probably not everything.
Simple yes or no is fine. Crooks.
No.
If it was everything,
No,
then everything would
okay.
start
No.
falling all over
If
the
you want
place.
to apply rigid body to everything, then you can, like once we have that implemented, but you might die depending on the world.
Yeah, I was going to say...
That is something I've always kind of envisioned when it came to rigid bodies, was just like somebody just doing that, just taking all the contents of the world, just adding rigid body to everything, everything just going.
Yes.
It
all
just
your
reminds
inspectors, all
me...
your tools, everything else.
It reminds me of what we used to do in SL when we used to delete builds, which was set everything to physical and temporary, and you just see it all collapsing, and it starts stuttering as the physics physics thread starts to lock up, and it's literally just like you'll just see things float. Hey, blow my neck!
Whoa.
All these gifted subs,
Earthmark
thank
and
you.
Snooper. Going crazy with the subs.
Oh
September.
no, Fuzzy, no, don't do that.
Ooh, logic node rigid bodies.
No.
They'll be falling around.
It'll true
When
pasta
we were,
then.
testing rigid body physics, one of the first things, and Alexander did this, is he added the Proto-Rigid Body to an inspector, and he was modifying, and then the inspector just fell down, flopped down, and he was like,
Oh my god, a droid!
There
And
is,
it was
50
one
tier
of the
1
funniest
subs.
things.
wow, thank you so much for 50
Wow,
gifted
guys,
subs.
just-
Wow.
Thank you. Holy.
Thank you so much.
wow.
Mwah.
And remember,
You
you guys,
guys are
that goes directly to
fantastic.
helping out the Nios team and helping its development. So thank you for
Hey,
that.
Thank you.
That's very
Yeah,
helpful.
thank you very much. It's just, I'll tell you now, it's a droid, it's Earthmark, it's Snooper. Those guys earned those VIP badges in that chat.
They did. They
Big
did.
thank you to all three of you from the team. Seriously, guys, we just, yeah. You guys are nuts.
So we're gonna we're gonna be ending off.
Mauricio,
Thank you, Mauricio, as well. Thank you. So we're gonna be ending off questions in chat now, you guys. Thank you again for watching the stream. If you want to see more or know more or learn more about Nios, please join our Discord if you're not inside there already. Discord.gg/NiosVR. And as well, a big shout out and thanks for the people that we interviewed today, Shifty and Medra, as well as the rest of our crew here that helped out with it. Canadian Git, Pearl Prime, Wraith, Turk, Fruits being here, and Green. So all of you guys, thank you so much for being here and helping Nios grow, because it takes every single one of us to make out a metaverse and make it the way it
Yes.
should be. It's all adding in. So, yeah.
It's a collaborative effort.
Absolutely. Always will be. But yeah, say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Well, I mean, that's it. Yeah, thank you all. Enjoy your Friday. And do we have somebody that we are gonna raid? I'll
Cut
so
to the ending screen, and I'll sort it out.
there you go. Bye, everyone.
We got
Let me actually start the
no.
stream real quick again. Sorry, if anybody's still here, we also have a stream tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. PST. Just wanted to remind everyone. That's all.
We are going to go